Welcome to DBL. Well, we did have a big election yesterday. Did you all vote?
Yes.
Tori, Tori even gave a salute.
Well, salute.
You woke up very excited yesterday.
It's a big day.
Yep.
You get to have your word in local and municipalities.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, since we're in the same district, we now have universal pre-K funded by nicotine.
That's, yeah.
Wait, excuse me? By nicotine. Okay, so they like taxed nicotine in order to fund.
Yeah.
Good.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Cool. My kid's graduating this year, so that'll be great for me next year.
I'm so sorry.
There goes all that money that you put into preschool.
Up in smoke.
Done.
Whatever, just
Good
burn
one, Tori.
it. Burn it at this point.
All right. Well, if you headed over to the Fox News website this morning, check out the top headline. It reads, GOP hopes crushed as Republicans suffer loss after loss in bellwether election. It seems like one of the major issues driving voters to the polls was abortion, with big wins for abortion rights advocates. For example, in Ohio, Virginia, and even in Kentucky. So what did you all think of the results? Did that surprise you, Tori?
Well, we talked about the polls recently and how bad they were for Biden and how low in the swing states. So it didn't surprise me knowing that Roe v. Wade is on the ballot. So let's just talk about what actually happened. We have in Ohio, they actually created an amendment in their state constitution protecting abortion and health, reproductive health for women. That's huge. In Virginia, both state houses are now Democratic. And in Kentucky, the incumbent, Andy Beshear, the governor, ran and won again against a MAGA-backed candidate who was
Cameron.
That's right, which Erica can speak to more. So 2 times in a row in these elections, the Trump MAGA candidates, the pro-life, strongly pro-life candidates, are not winning. They are not picking up. And in my opinion, Republican moms say, hey, I want bodily autonomy too. Isn't that crazy? That's my opinion.
I was going to say, Erica, I think it's bigger than that. I think for the first time, the Republicans did something that they had been talking about for a long time, which is they finally got Roe v. Wade flipped. And that was always the third rail. And say what you want about Trump's policies. Trump was always like, this is a no-go, guys. We can talk about it. We can give this lip service. The lip service that they've quite frankly given it the entire time. Being pro-life, there's nothing. That is your stance. God bless you. But when you start passing laws, that is going to incentivize. Don't forget, we're talking about did you vote. A lot of times when you're a political party, it's more about the suppression of the vote. It's more about, Erica, don't come out and vote because your issue is not going to pass. And that's how you win elections. When you motivate, light a fire under a voting base with something like abortion that is real now. We now have 2 Supreme Court justices that are under 45 years old.
That Trump appointed. So don't be.
No, that also RBG selfishly allowed to get in there. So let's call a spade a spade. Because of that, it has motivated this voting base to, I think now for a long time, get out and vote. Plus, in Ohio, my home state, I know that marijuana was also on there.
Legalized.
So I think the Republicans are learning that having wildly unpopular stances is finally hurting them rather than just in rhetoric. But now people are showing up because they're voting for the things they want and the things they don't want.
Well, in terms of Roe v. Wade, I don't know if the idea was that it was a wildly unpopular stance. I think that when we're talking about what people generally say are single vote issues,
guns,
guns and abortion, and a lot of people stand behind that under religious ideology. And if you really take a temperature in the climate of this country when it comes to religion, there are a lot of people who identify as religious people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that their ideology and politics go hand in hand. So when you're talking about an issue like the right to life versus, the right to or pro-choice, then you're kind of speaking to, assuming that you're talking to your demographic and base, that they share that same ideology, but we are in a very secular society.
Right.
So I think that when you have to split it, so to speak, then it shows where people's true values and priorities lie. Now, going back to what happened in Kentucky, the Daniel Cameron situation, I think largely had to do with how much he botched the Breonna Taylor investigation.
Agreed.
There was an opportunity for him to be an advocate and a sounding board for all the things that people were protesting and showing up literally in his front yard in order to get justice for Breonna. Now on March 13th, 2024, it'll be 4 years since she was brutally murdered, and she's gotten no justice. And I think that the turn in that election had a lot to do with that as well.
That is a sad point, but a very great point. Okay, so with Democrats winning big again at the ballot office, what does this mean for President Biden and his re-election bid? Because his polling is not good, with his popularity at its lowest level since April. Just 39% of people approve of his performance as president. So what does this all mean, Jeff, in your opinion? And then piggybacking on that previous conversation, do you think people are going to be voting for a specific individual or more for singular issues?
It's tough because I think like someone like me sees things on both sides. For me, I wouldn't put too much credit in the polls. They always seem to be wrong. It's like going to a website and be like, who's going to win this football game? They're usually wrong. Okay, so those are the polls to me. I wouldn't put too much credit in it. But I am feeling it in my wallet. I am feeling it in my daily life. That's the economy. That's where Biden's coming into play here, right? I think he's the one the blame, so he's not getting good polling at this point. I don't think he's a good representative for America. That's just me. That's my point of view. And then if you want to go on the other side, I saw my wife give birth twice, one with a C-section, one vaginally. I think it's a woman's right to choose whatever she wants to do with her body. So I see things on both sides. So I'm still waiting for a candidate that represents America, that has issues on both sides kind of handled, maybe some sensible gun laws. And where is that person?
The moderate.
Where is that person? I don't have a person out there.
Well, if we don't have a person, do you think this election people are going to be voting more for specific issues?
Yes, and let me just be very clear. Everyone thinks, oh no, Trump and Biden. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, this 2024 election became an abortion election. That is it.
Yeah.
It's not guns, it's not climate change. It is down to my right to make a medical decision with me as a doctor. You can label all these other things. Trump is this, Biden can't do this. It comes down to, on that ballot, do I want to be able to say to my daughters and future females that are coming up behind me, I voted to go on the right side of history. That's what this election is about. It's not about people, it's about abortion.
And if you think about the margins of who decides elections, it's suburban moms.
It's the Republican moms that they thought would become very pro-life, and Erica's right, they ain't, because they want to be able to talk to their doctors too.
Wow.